My name is Cynthia. I am 29 years old. I just came back to my hometown after 5 years. I stood at the bus stop with one small bag. The sun was warm, but my hands were cold. I looked around. Everything looked the same, but it did not feel the same. 5 years ago, I left this place. I moved to New York. I had a dream. I wanted more in life. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be free. I was scared, but I went. My heart was full of hope. New York was big. It was loud. It was fast. I had no friends. I had no one to help me. I worked hard. I learned how to take care of myself. I cried sometimes, but I never gave up. After some time, I felt stronger. I made new friends. I found small things to be happy about. I was proud of myself. Now, I was back. My mom was sick. She needed help. That was one reason I returned. But deep inside, there was another reason. I wanted to see George again. George was my first love. He was my best friend. He was kind, quiet, and funny. We spent a lot of time together. We talked about everything. He made me feel safe. He made me laugh. I loved him. When I got the chance to go to New York, I told George. He looked sad, but he said, "Go live your dream." I never forgot that. I cried when I left. At first, we called each other. We sent messages. But after some time, the calls stopped. The messages stopped. I didn't know why. I wanted to call him again, but I didn't. I was scared. Maybe he changed. Maybe he moved on. My mom's house looked the same. She was happy to see me. She looked tired but smiled a lot. I made her tea. We sat in the kitchen and talked. I felt warm inside. I missed this. That night, I could not sleep. I looked out the window at the stars. I thought about George. I remembered his voice. I remembered his eyes. I wondered if he still thought about me. The next morning, I walked to the town center. The air was fresh. I saw old places and old faces. My heart was beating fast. I didn't know if I would see him. I walked to the park near the school. I sat on a bench and waited. Then I saw him. He walked past the trees. He looked a little older. He looked stronger, but his face was quiet. He didn't see me. I stood up. "George?" He turned and looked at me. "Cynthia?" My heart jumped. "Yes, it's me." He looked surprised. "I didn't know you were back." "I came last night," I said. "My mom is sick." He nodded. "How's New York?" "It's busy," I said. "But I'm okay." He looked at the ground. "Not much has changed here." There was a long silence. "Do you want to walk?" I asked. "Okay," he said. We walked down a small road. It was quiet. We used to walk this road together. Now it felt strange. "I miss this place," I said. "You miss the trees?" he asked with a small smile. "No," I said. "I missed you." He didn't say anything. "I thought about calling," I said. But I was scared. He looked at me. "Why?" "I didn't know if you wanted to hear from me." He stopped walking. "I waited," he said. "But then I stopped." I felt pain in my chest. "I'm sorry, George." "I'm not angry," he said. "But it's been a long time." "Do you still think about me?" I asked. He looked away. "I did. For a long time. But people change." "Are you with someone now?" I asked. "I was. It didn't work out," he said. We sat on another bench. The school was behind us. Children laughed in the distance. "I thought we had something real," I said. "We did," he said, "but it didn't last." "So that's it?" I asked. "I don't know," he said. "You left. We are not the same people now." I looked at his face. He was right. He was not the same. And maybe I was not the same either. "I just wanted to see you," I said. He stood up. "You saw me." Then he walked away. I sat alone. The wind touched my face. I closed my eyes. I had waited 5 years for this moment. Now, it was gone. Before we continue with the story, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the world are you listening from today? Leave a comment below. And if this story touched your heart, please subscribe for more simple and emotional English stories. I sat still on the bench. My eyes stayed on the road where George had walked away. I didn't move. I didn't cry. I just sat there, trying to feel something clear. But everything inside me was a mess. I had dreamed about this moment for so long. I thought maybe he would smile. Maybe we would talk about the old times. Maybe he would still care. But now, I knew that dream was just a dream. I looked at the school behind me. I remembered sitting there with George when we were younger. We talked about where we wanted to go. I told him I wanted New York. He said he just wanted a quiet life. I thought our hearts were the same, but maybe they were not. The wind blew softly. I pulled my jacket tight. I felt cold even though the sun was still shining. Around me, people walked by. They smiled, talked, and lived their normal lives. But my world felt quiet. Still. I stood up slowly. My legs felt weak. I started walking back home. I walked past the old store, the bus stop, the bakery we used to visit. I didn't go inside. I didn't want to see more pieces of the past. When I got home, my mom was resting. I didn't wake her. I went to my room and sat on the bed. I looked at the wall. There were no pictures, no sound, just me and my thoughts. I whispered to myself, "He's not the same, and maybe I'm not either." And for the first time since I came back, I felt a tear roll down my cheek. I sat on the bed in my old room. The walls were white. The floor was clean. There was nothing on the desk. I used to write here when I was a girl. I used to dream about New York. I used to think about love, about George. Now, I was here again, but I didn't feel like the same girl. I lay back and looked at the ceiling. My chest felt heavy. My eyes were tired. I wanted to sleep, but my mind was full of him. I thought about his face, his voice, the way he said my name. I tried to remember his smile, but it felt far away. I closed my eyes. I tried to tell myself, "It's okay. It's not your fault. People change. You changed. He changed." But it still hurt. I still hoped for something. I didn't know what. The next morning, I helped my mom wash the dishes. She looked at me and said, "You are quiet today." "I saw George," I said. She stopped for a second, then kept drying the plate. "How was it?" I shook my head. "He's not the same." She said nothing. I didn't say more. Some things were too hard to explain. Later that day, I went outside. I didn't have a plan. I just walked. I passed the church, the park, the small houses. A little girl smiled at me. I smiled back. But I felt like I was not really there. I saw a bench near the river. I sat down. The water moved slowly. The sun was warm on my face. I tried to breathe deep. I tried to feel peace, but I was still thinking about him. I didn't know why I still hoped. He was kind to me, but he was cold too. Maybe he had pain in his heart. Maybe he felt like I left him behind. Maybe he was right. Still, I wanted to see him again. I didn't want to end it like that. That night, I couldn't sleep again. I looked at my phone. I still had his old number. My hand shook. I wanted to send a message. Just one line. "Can we talk again?" But I didn't press send. The next day, I stayed home. I helped my mom cook soup. I washed the floor. I folded the clothes. But inside, I was somewhere else. At sunset, I went to the market to buy some fruit. I didn't expect to see anyone. But then I saw him. George was coming out of the store. He held a small bag. He looked surprised when he saw me. "Hi," I said. "Hi," he said back. We stood there in silence. "I'm getting fruit for my mom," I said. He nodded. "She still lives on the hill?" "Yes," I said. He looked down. "Your mom okay?" "She's sick, but she's better this week." He nodded again. "That's good." I took a breath. "George, I didn't like how we ended the talk yesterday." He looked at me. His eyes were soft now. "I didn't either," he said. "Can we talk again? I don't want to leave things like this." He paused. Then he said, "Okay, tomorrow. In the park?" I smiled. "Yes." "Same bench?" He gave a small smile. "Same bench." I walked home with a strange feeling. I didn't know if it was hope or fear. The next day, I got dressed slowly. I put on a soft blue sweater. I brushed my hair twice. I looked in the mirror. I looked simple. I looked calm. But my heart was loud inside. I walked to the park. The bench was empty. I sat and waited. The sky was gray, but it was not cold. Then I saw him. He walked slowly. He sat next to me. We didn't talk right away. After a minute, he said, "I was angry when I saw you." "I know," I said. "I felt like you left me behind," he said. "I did leave," I said. "But I never stopped thinking about you." He looked at me. "I thought about you too." We sat in silence. "I came back because of my mom," I said. "But also because of you." He looked down. "You went far. You did something brave. I stayed here. I didn't know what to say to you." "You could have said anything," I said. "I was hurt," he said. "I'm sorry," I said again. He looked at me for a long time. "Maybe we can try again. Slowly. As friends." I smiled. "I'd like that." He smiled back. And this time, it was real. The next few days felt different. I felt a little lighter inside. My steps were slower, softer. I didn't rush anywhere. I didn't try to forget him. I didn't try to force anything. I just let things happen, one small day at a time. George and I started meeting again, just like before. We met at the park. We sat on the same bench. Sometimes we talked. Sometimes we just watched people pass. It was quiet, and it felt easy, not like the first day when he looked at me with cold eyes. That look was gone now. One morning, I brought him coffee. He smiled when he saw me holding the cup. "You still remember?" he said. "Of course," I said. "1 sugar, no milk." He laughed a little. "You have a good memory." "I remember the small things," I said. We sat and drank our coffee. It was warm and sweet. The sun was soft on our faces. The sky was light blue. The world felt calm, like nothing needed to be fixed fast. He asked me about my life in New York. I told him about the city, the tall buildings, the noise, the people. I told him how it made me strong, how it made me tired too. "You were always strong," he said. I looked at him. "You always saw that in me." "I did," he said. "But I didn't want you to go." "I know," I said. "I was scared too, but I had to try." He nodded. "I get it now. Back then, I didn't." I wanted to touch his hand. I didn't. I just sat close. We met again the next day, and the day after that. We talked more, about work, about family, about nothing and everything. He didn't talk about love. I didn't ask. One day, I asked him if he was happy. He didn't answer right away. He looked at the trees. "I'm okay," he said, "but I feel like something is missing." "What?" I asked. "I don't know," he said. "I thought I knew, but now, I'm not sure." We walked in silence after that. That evening, I helped my mom with her medicine. She looked tired but peaceful. She asked, "Did you see George again?" "Yes," I said. She smiled. "You look better." "I feel better," I said. She nodded. "Sometimes love just needs time." I didn't answer. I just smiled and kissed her cheek. The next week, George and I went for a walk near the river. The water moved slow. The sky was full of orange and pink. It was almost sunset. We didn't say much. "I like this time of day," I said. "It feels quiet." "It feels safe," he said. I looked at him. "Do you still think about the past?" He looked down. "Sometimes, but I don't live there anymore." I felt a small pain in my chest, but also peace. "I used to live in the past," I said. "Now I don't want to anymore." He smiled. "That's good." "Do you think we can really be just friends?" I asked. He looked at me for a long time. "Maybe not," he said. "Why not?" I asked. "Because I still care," he said. I looked at him. I felt warm. I didn't smile. I didn't speak. I just let that moment sit between us. The next day, I didn't see him. He sent me a short message. "Busy today. Tomorrow?" I said yes. I waited all day. I kept thinking about what he said. "I still care." I didn't know what to do with those words. They stayed in my mind like a small light. The next day, I wore a green dress. It was old, but I liked it. George once said I looked good in green. I walked to the bench. He was already there. "You came early," I said. "I couldn't wait," he said. I sat next to him. "I thought about what you said." He looked at me. "Me too." "I care too," I said. His face changed. He looked calm, but his eyes were full. "But I'm still scared," I said. "Me too," he said. "But maybe that's okay." We sat close. His hand was near mine. For a long time, we didn't move. "I don't want to rush," I said. "I don't want to lose this again," he said. We looked at each other. The sun touched his face. He looked like my George again. Not the old one, a new one. A man who had pain, but also hope. "I'm not the same girl," I said. "And I'm not the same boy," he said. "But maybe we can try as who we are now," I said. He smiled. "That sounds real." We stood up. We walked to the small cafe down the street. We sat by the window. We didn't hold hands, but we smiled, and we stayed. That night, I told my mom. She smiled. "I always knew," she said. "Knew what?" I asked. "That you two were not finished yet," she said. I went to bed and looked at the ceiling. I didn't feel heavy. I didn't feel lost. I felt still. I felt ready. The days after that were slow and quiet. George and I didn't make big plans. We didn't say big words. We just kept meeting. We laughed more. We walked more. One day we sat by the lake. He looked at me and said, "You coming back was the best part of this year." I smiled. "Me too." I didn't know where it would go. I didn't need to know. I just knew I was home. Not just with my mom, but with him. Not the past him, the now him. And that was enough for me. The days turned into weeks. My mother was getting stronger. She smiled more. She ate more. She asked fewer questions about George. Maybe she already knew what was happening. She could see it in my face. George and I saw each other almost every day. We didn't say we were together. We didn't give it a name. We just met, talked, and shared small parts of our day. He told me about his work, his sister's little boy, the new neighbor who had a loud dog. I told him about life in New York, the late trains, the nights I missed home, and the mornings I woke up alone. One morning we met at the market. I was buying apples for my mom. He was getting bread. He smiled when he saw me. "Green dress again?" he said. I smiled. "You still notice." "I always notice," he said. We walked back toward the park. We stopped by the fountain. I sat on the edge. He stood close. "Do you think we could try again?" I asked. He looked at me, his eyes warm. "What does again mean?" "I don't know," I said. "I don't want things to be like before. I want them to be better." He nodded. "Me too. But slower. No big dreams. Just real days." "That sounds nice," I said. "I want you in my life," he said. "Not in some dream, but here. Now." I looked at him. "Then let's try." He sat next to me. He didn't touch my hand, but he was close. Close enough. That afternoon, I helped my mom water the plants. She looked at me and said, "You look peaceful." "I feel okay," I said. She nodded. "That's a good place to start." The next week, George took me to a small lake outside town. We used to go there long ago. I remembered sitting by the water, talking for hours. Now we were back. But we were not the same. He brought a small bag with juice and snacks. We sat under a tree. "I never thought you'd come back," he said. "I never thought I'd miss this place," I said. "What made you miss it?" he asked. "I missed who I was here," I said. "I missed you too. He smiled. You don't look like you're from New York anymore. I laughed. Maybe New York was just a step, not the final place. We sat in silence. A few birds flew by. The water was still. It was a soft day. Do you think we can really make it work? I asked. I don't know, he said, but I know I want to try. He looked at me. I don't care where you lived or how far you went. I care that you're here now. That night, I lay in bed and thought about his words. I had spent years running, hoping, trying. Now I just wanted to be still. I wanted to stop chasing things. I wanted to build something slow, something soft. One evening, he came to see my mom. He brought her soup and flowers. She was happy. You were always a good boy, she said. He smiled. I try. They talked about the past. She asked him about his family. He asked her how she felt. I watched them. I felt something deep in my heart. Not love like fire, but love like quiet, safe. After dinner, we sat outside. The stars were bright. The night was cool. I might stay longer, I said. George looked at me. I hoped you would. Not forever, I said. But maybe a while. You don't need to plan it, he said. Just stay as long as you want. I nodded. Maybe this is what I needed. Not a big city, just small things that feel real. You don't need to prove anything, he said. You've done enough. I looked up at the stars. Maybe this is the real dream. He didn't answer. He just sat beside me. A few days later, I walked to the park alone. I sat on our bench. I watched the sky. I listened to the wind. I thought about everything. The girl who left 5 years ago was brave, but she was also scared. She thought love could wait. She thought home was just a place. Now I knew love doesn't wait forever, and home isn't a place. It's a feeling. It's a person. Or maybe it's the version of yourself that you find again when you stop running. George came to the bench a little later. He brought coffee. 1 sugar, no milk, he said. I smiled. You remember. I always did, he said. We sat and drank. We didn't say much. We didn't need to. And for the first time in a long time, I felt full. Not with dreams, not with plans, just with peace. The wind moved gently through the trees. A few leaves danced across the ground. I looked at George. His face was calm. His eyes were soft. He didn't try to say the perfect thing. He just stayed with me. I took a slow breath. I was always looking for something more, I said. I thought I had to go far to find it. And what do you think now? He asked. I think I was already enough. I just didn't know it back then. He nodded. You were always enough, Cynthia. You just didn't see it. I felt something break inside me, but it didn't hurt. It felt like something heavy was leaving, something I had carried for too long. Thank you, I said. We sat in silence. The sun was low. The sky turned gold and pink. I leaned back and let myself rest. I didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but I knew I was no longer afraid. I had come back with a suitcase full of memories. I was leaving the pain behind. I was keeping the lessons. George turned to me. Want to walk a little? Yes, I said. We stood up and walked down the path, slowly, side by side. I hope you have enjoyed the story. Like and comment if you want to hear more soon.